I want to tell you about a new rental scam that I've come across so that if you're a tenant looking for a new home and you're conducting your search on your own, you'll be aware, informed, and you'll know what to look for. For context, I was advertising a basement apartment for lease on behalf of the owners of the property and had placed some ads on Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, and Sumper. Someone contacted me through one of those platforms and they were quite desperate. They were looking for a place to live that very night. Now, while renting to someone that same day just wasn't possible, I naturally had some questions as to why someone would need a place to live the same day they were inquiring about the availability of the property in the first place. That's when I learned of this type of rental scam. This person I was speaking with had already committed to another property. They responded to an ad, they even toured the home with someone who they thought was related to the owner, and they submitted an application and it was accepted. And they even paid first and last, as you would normally would, to secure tenancy. In the few days leading up to the move-in date, they even acquired keys to the home. However, on the morning of the move-in date, they discovered that while the keys worked in the lock, there was also a numbered keypad on the door, which was unnoticed on the day of the initial visit, and the keypad was preventing access to the unit. They obviously weren't given a code. Numerous calls and emails to the contact that they had spoken to, met with, sent money to, went unanswered. Ultimately, this scorned renter contacted the police and was discouraged to learn that justice for these types of things is very difficult to achieve. The theory about the scam itself is that it was likely someone renting the property short term and was due to move out very soon. Instead of handing the keys back to the host, they created some fake profiles and some ads for the long-term rental, found a potential victim, and handed the keys over to the hopeful tenant before taking off with the money to who knows where. Protecting yourself from this type of scam does not seem easy to me, considering that the victim actually met with someone in person, watched them unlock the door, and toured the property in question. Now, this will obviously sound biased, but one way to protect yourself might be to strictly work with a realtor for your next rental. There's an elevated level of transparency, and your deposit, if you get that far, would be held in trust by a real estate brokerage and not handed over to some person that you've met once or twice. If you are going in alone and if you visit a place in person, observe whether the entry door has multiple types of locks. You may also want to consider asking for identification of the person showing you the property, along with some type of proof of ownership of the home. Now, this might be difficult in a situation where the person opening the door is claiming to be a property manager or maybe even a realtor. But probably the best advice I can give you is this: listen to your gut. If something tells you that something is fishy or suspicious, listen to your instincts and start asking questions and get on the defensive. If you don't like the answers, do not hand over your deposit money. Renting a home in Toronto the last number of years has been challenging for a lot of reasons, and unfortunately it seems like you can add one more reason to the pile to add to the difficulty of the situation. I'm Jamie Harnish, Toronto Real Estate Navigator with Bosley Real Estate. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you again. Take care.